How now shall we live? Computer science challenges evolution. On April 25 to 27, 1966, an academic conference was held at the Wistar Institute of the University of Pennsylvania, the famous Wistar Symposium, formerly known as Mathematical Challenges to the Neo-Darwinian Interpretation of Evolution. The core topic of the conference was to use mathematical methods to analyze the rationality of Neo-Darwinism, especially whether the evolutionary model of mutation combined with natural selection can produce biological complexity. The conference was jointly organized by the Wistar Institute and the National Academy of Sciences, and invited experts from various fields such as mathematicians, computer scientists, and molecular biologists to try to examine the feasibility of evolution from a mathematical perspective. This conference has a specific historical background. In the mid-20th century, Neo-Darwinism, modern synthesis of evolution, became the mainstream biological theory, combining Darwin's theory of natural selection, Mendel's genetics, and the discoveries of molecular biology, such as DNA and mutation. However, with the development of computer science and mathematics, some scientists began to use mathematical models to calculate whether the evolutionary process can really produce biological complexity, which raised doubts. Among the scholars who questioned the theory of evolution at this conference, there were three representatives. Stanislaw Ulam is a Polish-American mathematician, physicist, and computer scientist. He participated in the Manhattan Project and proposed the Teller-Ulam design for the development of the hydrogen bomb. His Monte Carlo method is an important foundation for modern stochastic computing. His research also involves combinatorial mathematics, computer simulation, topology, and other fields. Murray Eden is a computer scientist, information theory expert, and professor at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, whose research focuses on biological information processing, computer modeling, and artificial intelligence. Marcel Schutzenberger is a French mathematician, computer scientist, and linguist. His main research areas include formal language and automata theory, information theory and combinatorial mathematics, biological information processing and computer simulation. The first point to question the theory of evolution is biological complexity. The theory of evolution believes that biological complexity is gradually accumulated through random mutation and natural selection. However, random mutations cannot explain the formation of complex structures in organisms. The evolution of complex functions, such as eyes, requires many precisely coordinated mutations. If these mutations were completely random, an astronomical number of attempts would be required. Take the famous monkey typing problem as an example. Suppose a monkey randomly hits the keyboard to spell out Shakespeare's Hamlet's famous words, to be or not to be. The total number of random combinations is as high as 10 to the power of 25. Even if the monkey tries 1,000 times per second, it will still take far longer than the age of the universe. In addition, random mutations are often harmful. For example, algorithm optimization in computer science is similar to evolution, and in the optimization process, completely random changes almost always destroy the system rather than optimize it. In computer programs, randomly changing the source code, similar to gene mutations, almost always causes the program to crash rather than improve its function. The complexity of biological systems is much higher than that of computer programs. If mutations are random, it is difficult for organisms to gradually evolve highly complex organs and functions. The second point of doubt about evolution is the time scale. Evolution is said to occur gradually through the accumulation of small mutations. However, small mutations cannot explain the rapid emergence of life's complexity, because computational models show that random search would take time far longer than the age of the Earth. The evolutionary process involves combinatorial optimization problems involving multiple genetic mutations. In computer science, random search for the optimal solution is extremely inefficient and takes a lot of time. If mutations were random, then the Earth's 4 billion years of history would be far from enough to produce the current biological complexity. Eden calculated a simple evolutionary model in which an organism must undergo a series of correct mutations to develop a new function. Assuming that the probability of each mutation occurring is p, and the number of mutations required for evolution is n, then the probability of completing evolution is p to the power of n. Assuming p is 1 in 1,000, n only needs to reach 100, and the probability of the whole process becomes 1 in 1,000 to the power of 100. This is an extremely small number and is almost impossible to occur in real time. The third point to question the theory of evolution is gradual function. The theory of evolution believes that evolution occurs gradually, and the new functions of organisms are gradually accumulated. Each small mutation should have a survival advantage, otherwise it will be eliminated by natural selection. However, the formation of each component of an organism's organs is often all or nothing, rather than gradual addition. For example, if the wings of birds cannot generate sufficient lift before they are fully evolved, then they will not have the ability to fly in the intermediate state of the evolutionary process, and therefore will not be retained by natural selection, but will be eliminated. Another example is that the eye requires the cornea, lens, retina, neural connections, and visual processing brain areas to work together to produce visual function. If evolution occurs gradually, then having a retina without a lens is as useless as having a lens without a retina, and will only be eliminated by natural selection rather than retained. The fourth point of questioning the theory of evolution is natural selection. The theory of evolution believes that natural selection can screen beneficial mutations and gradually optimize biological functions. However, the natural selection recognized by the theory of evolution is purposeless and directionless, and has no guidance. It can only eliminate the current harmful mutations and cannot ensure that the mutations develop in the direction of a certain functional goal. For example, in artificial intelligence and genetic algorithms, the search space must be guided in some way, otherwise it is difficult for the algorithm to converge to the correct solution. However, biological evolution does not have this kind of intelligent guidance. Mutations are completely random, and natural selection can only work under the limited survival pressure of each generation, and cannot optimize biological functions for the future. The fifth point of doubt about evolution is biological information. The genome of an organism contains a large amount of information, similar to the code in a computer program. Darwinian evolution theory cannot explain how this information is generated, because random mutations usually destroy information rather than generate new and orderly information. In information science, adding functional information usually requires specific design rather than random changes. For example, in the computer field, optimization algorithms usually rely on guiding rules rather than completely random searches. The genetic information of biological systems is far more complex than computer programs. If there is no mechanism to ensure that mutations are directional, the information of biological systems will not increase naturally. In computer programming, random changes to source code almost always cause the program to break rather than get better. The genes of an organism are like a code library, and if evolution relies entirely on random mutations, the result will often destroy the organism's existing functions rather than create new ones. The Wistar Symposium was the first conference in history to use mathematics and computer science to seriously examine the theory of evolution. During the conference, mathematicians and computer scientists used rigorous mathematical and information science logical reasoning and deduction to strongly challenge Darwin's theory of evolution, forcing many biologists who supported the theory of evolution to quietly abandon the view that the generation and evolution of life were random and accidental, even if they were unwilling to completely deny the theory of evolution. Thank you for watching this video. The topic in the video is from Chapter 8 of Charles Colson's Golden Award-winning book, How Now Shall We Live? Links to some of Charles Colson's books are listed below the video. May God bless you.